All right. Well, thank you, everyone who's here, everyone who's listening on our podcast, and everyone who's watching on YouTube. Today's teaching is titled The Gift Hidden in the Freeze. And I want to start with a verse from the Bhagavad Gita that says, "The self is born, the self is not born, it does not die, it has not come from anywhere, it has not become anyone, it is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and ancient." So we open in the name of the great mystery that moves through every tradition, every lineage, every breath, the Christ within, the Guru's grace, the witness of the Vedas, the sacred hoop, the beloved of the Sufis, the Shekinah, the Buddha nature that was never born and never dies. Whatever name you carry for the divine, you are welcome here. And whatever you are carrying this morning, you are welcome here. So I want to start by asking you something. This is not a spiritual question, a real one. How did you actually arrive this morning? Not which device you opened, not what time you woke up. I mean, what did you actually carry into this moment? Because some of you woke up this morning with something heavy sitting on your chest. You found your way to the stream, you showed up, and you carried it with you, quietly, the way we often do. And some of you are tired in a way that sleep did not fix. You got 8, maybe 9 hours, and you still dragged yourself out of bed feeling like you had been running for days. Because you had been. And some of you are sitting with a question that just simply will not resolve itself. Maybe a financial uncertainty, a relationship that is unclear, or a direction for your life that does not yet have a clear map or path forward. I know this because I woke up exactly in that place this week. I felt heavy, tired, frozen, not from a lack of sleep, but from the weight of sovereign self-directed living, from that particular exhaustion of trying to build a life and a livelihood without a clear map forward, from the quiet, grinding pressure of a future that has not yet taken shape. And I sat with it. I moved through a practice of honest self-inquiry. And what I found changed something inside of me. It didn't fix it, but it changed it. And that is what I want to share with you today. In yogic philosophy, we understand the human being as a layered being. Not one thing, but many sheaths woven together, one on top of the other. And in yoga, we call this the koshas. You have the physical body, the energy body, the mental and emotional bodies, the wisdom body, and at the very center, the body of pure bliss. And this body in yoga language is called Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha. The layer where we are closest to the formless, where we are closest to one with the ocean of pure consciousness. So what I discovered in my inquiry this week was that what felt like physical exhaustion was not actually living in my physical body. It was living in a deeper layer. It was in my energy body, in my nervous system. The nervous system is the physical manifestation of the energy body. And I'm sure many of you have heard this phrase before, but the body keeps the score. And the nervous system is brilliant. It is ancient. It is loyal beyond measure. And it does not distinguish between a predator in the grass or an unresolved future. So when we are under sustained pressure with no resolution in sight, the nervous system does what it was designed to do. It activates. It mobilizes. It tries to either fight or flee. And when neither fighting nor fleeing will solve the problem, when the threat is not a predator, but a life that has not yet arrived, it does the last thing in its arsenal. Excuse me. It freezes. And the freeze is not a weakness. Freeze is not a failure. Freeze is the body's most intelligent last resort. It is the nervous system saying, I have done everything I know how to do. and the threat is still here. So I'm going to conserve. I'm going to go still. I'm going to wait. And another creature that does this really well, which is really funny, is if you scare a possum, it freezes and it plays dead. And it waits until the threat is past. And the moment that it feels safe again, it reanimates and it shakes vigorously, shaking its nervous system, shaking its body to release the stress hormones that were released in that moment and not carrying that into the next. And the gift inside the freeze, the thing nobody tells you, is that it is pointing directly toward what most needs your compassionate attention. So the freeze is not the enemy. The freeze is simply the messenger. And sometimes the freeze is not preventing you from finding the gift. The freeze is actually slowing you down enough to finally see what's right in front of you. So the soul is its own witness. The soul is its own refuge. This comes from the Dhammapada, chapter 12, verse 160. So in the Vedantic tradition, there is a practice called Sakshi Bhava. And Sakshi Bhava means witness. Bhava means state of being, the witness state. So it's not analysis, it's not judgment, it's not trying to fix or reframe or spiritually bypass what is arising inside of you. It is the practice of honest, compassionate attention. Simply turning around and saying, what is here? Without any attempt to change it. Of turning toward what is here and simply saying, I see you. So when I moved through my inquiry this week, I did not try to make the heaviness go away. I did not try to reframe the anxiety into gratitude. I did not try to perform my way into a higher vibration. I simply turned around and I faced it. And here's what I found beneath my freeze. Beneath the freeze I was experiencing, there was anxiety. Beneath that anxiety, even under that, was a fear. And the fear, when I finally let myself hear it clearly, said this: am I even capable of building the foundation for the life that I want? Because it all feels so complicated. And the witness, the part of me that could simply observe without flinching, said back, let's look at that together. Is it actually beyond your capacity? Or does it feel that way because you're dysregulated? And when I looked clearly, I discovered something profound. The thing that felt impossible was not impossible, it was simply unclear. And it was unclear because I was frozen, because I was inside a dysregulated nervous system. Because when you're dysregulated, your vision narrows. It makes us see threat where there is only uncertainty. It makes us see impossibility where there is only a path we have not yet mapped out. The Quakers have a practice of sitting in what they call expectant waiting. Not waiting for something to happen, waiting with open receptivity for what is already trying to emerge. That is Sakshi Bhava, witness consciousness, the heart of honest, undefended looking. But there was something else waiting beneath that fear, something I had not expected. Because when I kept looking, kept witnessing, kept refusing to look away at my discomfort, I came to something that had been living quietly underneath everything else. My gifts. Because I have a natural ability to coach and mentor people through deep relational presence. And I have sat with people in the darkest rooms of their lives and helped them find the door. I have watched people shift, not from technique, but from something that lives in me that I did not earn and I cannot fully explain. And I had been waiting for the external credentials to give me permission to fully claim and offer that part of myself. So the inquiry asked me, whose voice is that? The voice that says your natural knowing is not enough. The voice that says you need someone else to certify what you already are. And I recognized it. It was not the market speaking from evidence. It was this old internal voice, one I have been carrying for a very long time, and then I ask to name who I am truly built to serve. And part of who I feel truly built to serve are teenagers or individuals who are experiencing the trauma of addiction, because that is what I lived. So people in active addiction, people in recovery who still feel like something is missing, people who have done everything right and still feel like there is something wrong, people who are frozen. And when I named it in that moment, I cried, because it was not from sadness, but from a deeper recognition that was hiding underneath that frozen layer. Because my authority to serve those people does not come from a certificate on the wall. It comes from the fact that I had an abusive childhood, that I struggled with addiction for nearly 20 years, that I am, by the grace of God, somehow, by the grace of every tradition that has held me, a well-adjusted, self-reflective, balanced human being standing on the other side of all of that trauma. So the tears were not grief. They were the body recognizing how far it has traveled. They were the moment when the witness meets the wholeness that was already there. So out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there, said Rumi. So out beyond all of our ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I will meet you there. And that field is Sakshi Bhava. That field is what opens when we stop trying to perform our healing and simply agree to witness it. So why am I telling you all of this? Because I do not think I am the only one who has ever been waiting for permission. We are living in a time of extraordinary uncertainty, economically, politically, relationally, and spiritually. Many people feel suspended between an old life that no longer fits and a new life that has not yet arrived. The freeze is not personal failure. The freeze is not personal failure. It is a collective condition. And it is asking all of us the same question it asked me. So I think some of you are waiting for someone to certify your gift before you offer it fully. I think some of you have a voice that says your natural knowing is not enough, that you need more credentials, more years, more evidence before you feel qualified to be who you already are. And I think some of you are frozen right now, and you've been calling it laziness or weakness or spiritual failure. And it is none of those things. It is your inner intelligence. It is your system doing the best it can with what it has. So I want to offer you what was offered to me this week. You do not need to fix yourself. You simply need to witness yourself. Because the witness is not separate from the healing. The witnessing is the healing. The moment you turn and face the thing you have been afraid to look at with honesty, without flinching, something in it loses its power. Not all of it, not forever, but enough. Enough for you to take the next breath, and enough for you to take the next step to become visible. Neti, neti, not this, not this. And yet here, awareness remains. The one who sees is always free, from the Mandukya Upanishad. The witness in you has never been frozen. The witness in you has never been addicted. The witness in you has never been ashamed. The witness simply sees. And in that seeing, there is liberation. So I want to close with this. The thing we are most afraid to look at directly loses much of its power the moment we turn and face it with honest, compassionate awareness. The freeze is not your enemy. It is a messenger holding a gift. So the permission you have been waiting for is not coming from outside, because it is already yours. You did not find your way here this morning by accident. Whatever you carried into this moment carried you here. And here, in this community, In this practice, in this tradition that holds many traditions, you are allowed to set it down long enough to look at it. This is one of the reasons Merkaba Temple exists, not to tell you who you are, not to fix you, but to create a space where you can remember what has always been true. You are allowed to witness yourself. You are allowed to be exactly as far along as you are. And you are allowed to be the gift. So let us close in prayer. Beloved, we have been honest today about what is heavy, about what is frozen, about the voices that have kept our gifts small, and we have witnessed together. May every soul in this community, near and far, wherever you are watching or listening, find the courage to turn and face what most needs their love. May the witness in each of us remember what it has always known. May the gifts hidden in our hardest seasons find their way into the world. May we stop waiting for permission and begin. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Guru Om, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is. Christopher will now lead us in today's guided meditation to embody the teaching. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. What a great teaching. All right, everyone. Let's move from understanding into experience. So if it feels comfortable, gently close your eyes. And let's begin by taking a slow, deep breath in through the nose. And exhaling slowly. Again, breathing in and letting go. Noticing the chair beneath you, the support beneath your body. Noticing that for the next few moments, there is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing you need to accomplish. Nothing that needs to be solved. Simply arrive. Now take a moment to become aware of the sensations in your body. Perhaps there is comfort, tension, heaviness, perhaps ease. Whatever you notice, simply notice it. And recognize you are aware of this sensation, but you are not the sensation. You are the witness. Now become aware of your emotions, perhaps peace, anxiety, sadness, gratitude, uncertainty. Whatever is here today, allow it to be here. You do not need to improve it or fix it. You do not need to make it go away. Simply witness it. Now become aware of your thoughts, the plans, the memories, the questions, the stories, the commentary, and allow them to move through the mind like clouds moving through a vast sky. No resistance, no attachment, no judgment. And recognize that you are aware of the thoughts, but you are not the thoughts. Just noticing. Now bring your mind to something in your life that feels uncertain, something unresolved, something you have been carrying, a situation where you may feel stuck, frozen, or waiting. And don't dive into the story, simply notice it, as if you were holding it gently in your hands. And ask yourself, what if I don't need to solve this right now? What if I simply witness it? What if I allow myself to be curious? What if freeze is not my enemy? What if it is trying to show me something. Just sit with that. No need for answers. No need for certainty. Only openness. And now bring your awareness back to the one who is witnessing all of this. The awareness that has been here the entire time. Aware of the breath. Aware of the body. Aware of emotions. Aware of thoughts. Aware of uncertainty. This awareness has not been harmed by the uncertainty. It has not been diminished by the fear, and it has not been frozen by the freeze. It has simply been witnessed. And silently repeat, I can trust myself to meet this moment. I can trust myself to meet this moment. I can trust myself to meet this moment. And take a slow, deep breath in. And exhale. And begin by bringing your awareness back into the room, back into your body, and back into this community. When you are ready,